team. Today, I have honestly one of my favorite experts on. This is Courtney Burton. She is a mom of two adorable boys. She is also a course creation genius. And I know because she helped me create my course offerings, which have already helped so many women achieve their goal of becoming ageless and living longer and with more vitality. But the thing I love about her is she is the queen of helping women build freedom-based businesses. We don't want you to be a slave to your Google Calendar. We don't want you to be a slave to your Calendly. We want you to rise into the longevity pillar of purpose to help as many people as possible while creating a freedom-based life. She has built multiple six-figure businesses, both in real life and online, and has helped countless women like myself really achieve their goals to a next level. Before I met Courtney, I had ultimate confidence in my abilities and my certifications, but I wasn't certain how to translate that into a YouTube channel or a business. And Courtney really is the genius behind all of this. So Courtney, I could go on with an amazing introduction for all of the things that you have added to the world in my life, but talk to us a little bit about how what you do in helping women build this purpose can relate to longevity and in your experience as well.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you. I'm so excited to be on YouTube with you and to be doing this. Elise and I, we were talking about this right before we clicked record. We are like, we could literally talk for hours about these topics. And so we're going to try to keep it short and concise and make sure that you're getting some value out of this as well. And I truly believe that living life in purpose, and Elise talks about it as one of the pillars of longevity. But man, I think about it as just like, how can you not?
Yeah.
Right? How can you not want to live up to your fullest potential? And there is this story I actually heard. I heard Ed Milet talk about it on the Ed Milet podcast, and he talks about heaven and hell. But instead of it being heaven and hell, it's when you pass, you go to this next dimension. And in this dimension, there is this version of you that is the most realized version of you. It is the you if you had lived up to your fullest potential, right? Like if you started the business or took the risk or asked the person out on a date or traveled to the other country, like if you went for it in life, right? It's this version of you. And they are showing back all the memories that you could have had in your life. And so heaven essentially is if you're like, oh my gosh, yes, we did that. We lived, like, I am this person. You're looking in a mirror. And essentially hell is like you show up and you're like, oh my gosh, I spent all this time worried what other people were going to think about me, or scared to leave my job to try something new, or saying I'll travel when I have more time.
It's the one day principle. Oh, I'll come on a retreat with you one day. I'll start my business one day. And then one day becomes not in this lifetime. And this is the kind of thing it's like you were saying, we want to live in our purpose and live in vitality now. I hear a lot of people same thing say, well, I'll worry about my longevity, when I'm older. I'm like, well, it's too late when you're older. Don't wait till you're my age. I started investing in my longevity in my 20s. And for you as well, one of the things I love about how you inspire women to drive and create their own in purpose, in alignment businesses is you share that one of the biggest drawbacks that a lot of women in particular have, and this is something we really want to repurpose, is that we are sometimes afraid of having people see us try. It's not that we're afraid of failure. You said that we're afraid sometimes for people to see us trying. So can you talk a little bit more about that and how it relates to what you do?
Absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of the times when I talk to women about, hey, like, let's build your online business, or let's build your brick and mortar business, or your course, or whatever you want to do, their number one thing is they're scared to put themselves out there on social media. And for the longest time, I framed it as, oh, well, do you have like a fear of fail? And they say, like, I'm scared of, what happens if I fail, Courtney? Like, what happens if I fail? But that's not the actual fear. The fear isn't the failure. It is a fear of being seen
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
being seen once you're successful, but being seen in that in between when you're trying something new, when you're putting yourself out there. But Elise, like, you know this, that's where the growth happens.
Yes, it's also where people started resonating with me in my teaching. I mean, this is, I've been teaching since 2004, leading, longevity in movement and mindset. And when I used to try to be perfect, I'm like, well, I'm going to teach the perfect class and it's going to be the perfect sequence and the perfect flow with the perfect playlist. And then one day I started sharing, like I was going through a really challenging breakup that I had the potential to break me if I allowed it to. And I just started sharing. I went in one day, this is when I was still teaching in classrooms at Equinox. I was like, hey guys, I had a really tough time getting here today. I didn't want to come. This is what I'm going through. Here's some things that helped me. Let's flow together. And suddenly my classes were packed. And conversely, now my courses are packed. When I start sharing authentically, I think that people are really drawn to not our perfection or perceived perfection, but our journey and whatever we're passionate about. And I think that's for some of us, our purpose will be our career. For some of us, it won't. But what I love is that I have watched you in your career help so many women realize that they have something to offer that they didn't even know they did because they were so wrapped up in not having the right certifications or the right college degree. So can you tell us a little bit about how you've inspired women that their purpose can actually be monetized?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a really good point that you brought up is that so many of us are waiting for the right time, right? Like we're waiting for the right time to build our business or the right time to go on the trip or the right time to do anything. And the fact of the matter is, it's never going to be the right time. And you're never going to have more time unless you create it for yourself.
That's right. And I love that you've been able to, what I've done is with you just in the past 4 months or so, right? I have been able to curate more business and reach more amazing women who are making incredible transformations in their lives while also having more free time, which is something I think the old me, I like to call myself a hopefully recovering perfectionist. But, I was raised in a time that was like, work harder, work till you drop. And I think there comes a point where that's counterintuitive. And the more we allow flow and we know our value and we put it out there, the more things come to us. And you were the one who really helped me realize that the ultimate goal is time freedom, so that we have the time and energy to do the things we want. And we can do that and build our business at the same time and have that financial and time freedom.
Yes. And I get a ton of women that come to me that are either professionals in their career, or maybe they're booked out one-on-one nutrition or fitness coaches or therapists or teachers. I get all kinds of women that come to me. And that's the number one thing is like, I don't have enough time. Elise says, I have 2 boys. I have a 10-month-old and I have an almost 5-year-old. I have multiple businesses. My husband and I run 2 brick and mortar stores. So we have 2 like in-person location physical shops.
Based on adventure too, which we love.
Yeah, based on adventure and here's the thing, when I say freedom-based business, my husband and I, when we decided when we were like looking at number one, like I don't have a business degree. He doesn't have a business degree. He was a mechanic. I was a waitress, right? But we looked at our lives together and our future. And we said, what do we want it to look like? And I think people say like, what do I want it to look like based on what I have going on right now?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be your reality. We said, we want it to look like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And we have a huge passion for travel, a huge passion for adventure, a huge passion for life. And I knew I never wanted to be the person that was sitting at a 9 to 5. Like that just wasn't it for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. For some people it is. For me, it's not.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to go and move and have freedom. And yet here I was 30 years old. It's another thing. We always think like, oh, I didn't start when I was 20 or I didn't start when I was 30 or 40 or whatever age. You can start at any age, right? Like
I'm expanding my brand from fitness and mindset to longevity. It's always been there, just like you and your adventurepreneur, all of the different businesses. It's built on your passion for something, sharing that, both incorporating it into your lifestyle and sharing it with others. And I'm doing this at 50, the year I turned 50. So it's really never too late. We're always expanding and growing. And I think one of the things that you helped me with is the term that you just described about reverse engineering. It's not about taking where you are now and forward planning. It's about taking this vision of who you want to be, where you want to be, who you want to help, what is your purpose, right? For me, I want to help the most number of women live the most vital life for as long as they possibly can. And when we reverse engineer that, then you can really set a plan that's going to send you where you want to be and not just where you think you should go.
Exactly. And like, I knew that I wanted to spend months at a time abroad. I knew that when I had a family eventually, I wanted to spend time with them and be that present mom. And so all of the businesses that my husband and I have created have been around the premise of like, how can we have freedom-based businesses? So our brick and mortar businesses are seasonal. Right? They're open May 1st through mid-September. And then we have the entire winter that we can go travel. My online coaching business, right? Like all my courses. And that's the reason why I preach courses, is because it's a one-to-many program, right? Like you're not just having 7 one-to-one clients and then you're capped out on your income. I could have 100 women join my offer today and be completely fine. I would add more.
Same amount of work, same amount of time investment, maximizing your revenue.
Exactly.
Right? Honestly, because at the end of the day, one of the things Courtney and I talk about is that we are transformational leaders and entrepreneurs, not transactional leaders and entrepreneurs. And we pour a lot of our heart and soul into everything that we do. But we want that. Like for me, my goal is to reach the most number of people with a message of actionable change that will elevate your life. And your goal is essentially the same. You do it through building businesses, and I do it through longevity. And it's so amazing to learn from Courtney. She has so many ways that you can connect with her. Of course, I'll share them all in the description. But Courtney, I wanted to talk a little bit about like how we first connected when Courtney was actually in my test group for my program, the Bar Blend Super Block. And we had a lot of great testimonials, but Courtney's really stood out. And I think it's a great synopsis of how she runs her business, who she is as a human, and how our lives kind of came to intersect. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's wild because, through Body and Beachbody, that's one of the ways that, Elise and I first connected. And I built a 6-figure business there, but I knew, like, talking about in purpose, right? Like, and being aligned with your purpose. I knew that while that was great and I was comfortable, growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
It never does. And so friends have told me I was crazy. They're like, you built this thing, you have the income coming in. Like, what are you doing? And I completely pivoted. Actually, like right after. And the Bar Blend Super Block really was this big catalyst for me. Um, you know, I, Elise and I are an unlikely duo in the fact that when I came into, the Beachbody space, the body space, I was the CrossFit girl. Like through and through. I'm a CrossFit level 2 coach. I am all about lifting heavy things. And here comes Elise with like her
With large leg warmers at the time. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I didn't talk about 2-pound weights, and I was like, this is not for me. But it actually lined up with my first pregnancy, with my first baby. I was pregnant during the release of the original Bar Blend. And so I was like, all right, this would be a great pregnancy. The program kicked my butt. It's not just a great pregnancy program. It is just a great program. And so from there, I got invited to be in her postpartum program. And it was the test group. And it was awesome because I did the postpartum test group and I was able to jump right back into that higher intensity style of training that like I had known for so long afterwards. Like I was
for recovery.
Yes, I was jumping rope at 2 months postpartum and like had 0 issues, and people were like, what is going on? And so, so that was like our original, how we originally met. And then when they were doing the super block, it was really interesting because that is like, I had so much change going on in my life during that period. My husband and I at the time, we had been trying for a second baby for 7, 8 months at that point, and like nothing was happening. And literally I was like, got invited to do the bar blend super block. And I was like, of course they want the cross. Of course they want the girl there. I'm like, I can't lift my leg like above my knee. Like I am not.
But yes.
But once again, nothing good happens in your comfort zone. Like
Yeah,
growth doesn't happen there. And so
exactly.
doing your programs it's always been about, yes, like I get incredible physical results from your programs, at least. Like, let's be real. But it's about that growth in myself. And truly doing the barbell and super block was an emotional, physical, it was a total transformation for me. Because during the barbell and super block, we did get pregnant, and then right after filming, we ended up losing that baby. And so it was like this, like so excited to this extreme loss. And it like literally all lined up. Like we filmed, I got pregnant. We launched the program. I lost the baby on day one of the launch, which was like heartbreaking. But then doing the program again through was this incredible healing, eye-opening experience. And that's truly when I was like, I'm going, like, life is too short. You never know how things are going to happen. I'm going all in on me, and literally finished one round of, like, once it was launched, the barbell and super block, and launched my new business.
Yeah.
Went all in, launched my new business, got pregnant with little baby Conrad, which we like a lot.
He's the mascot. He's in like all of our meetings. I'm obsessed with him. He's so cute.
He's
So
the best.
amazing.
But people talk about all the time, like not having enough time to chase their dreams, right? And so I literally, like, it was like mid-August. I was like, I'm starting my new business. I'm going all in. Got pregnant with Conrad at the beginning of September. And it's wild because I talked to one of my mentors about this. I have either been pregnant or newly postpartum for the last 2 years that I've launched this new business.
Yeah.
And I've earned multiple six figures
Yes.
in that time period while giving myself more time with my family.
Absolutely. And that is really, that's extraordinary. And that's such an aspirational goal.
And it's such a doable goal for so many individuals, but I think it's that fear of being seen, fear of putting themselves out there and actually being seen, trying something that holds so many people back. And it's like, we talk about longevity all the time, you and I, and like I have full goals to live to be 100 because I had my first son at age 36 and I had my second son at age 40. And I want to be here. Like, I want to be here. My father actually texted me, man, I don't know, this conversation my father texted me 3 days ago and he was like, man, it would have been your pop-pop's 100th birthday today had he had been alive. He passed away when he was 84, I believe. So it's been 16 years. And so Braden and he passed away a month before I met Braden, my husband. And I wrote back to my dad and I was like, oh, I so wish he had been here to meet my family, to meet my boys, and to meet this amazing man in my life that we've built this incredible life together. And it's like, that's why the work that you do is so important, right? Because I want to live to be 100. I want to meet my
Want to
son.
see your great grandkids. And I would argue that your pop-up is with you and seeing your whole family in real time at all times. But yes, that is the thing. And you also, for longevity, it's not just that you want to live to see them. You want to be able to bend down and pick them up and lift them into their car seat and play with them and have fun. You don't want to be on dialysis or in a wheelchair, or no one wants to live to be 100 if they're in pain or they're suffering, right? Or if their mental facilities are completely gone. So this is the investment that we make. It's all like the businesses you run, the work that I do, so we have more time with our families, so we have more time to travel, to explore the world, to do the things. And Courtney, you're such an inspiration. So you guys, Courtney both has extraordinary courses you can join if you are interested in starting your own business and earning a six-figure income while you're playing with your kids or traveling the world. And she also has ways you can work with her one-on-one. I'm going to post all of those in the description. So be sure you check out Courtney and follow her on Instagram, and stay tuned because she'll be back, because we have many more hours of conversing to do. So pop in your questions and we'll get back to you in part 2. And Courtney, thank you so much for sharing all of your valuable expertise and those very personal stories, which for me are those, knowing those things about you and having seen your journey and your transformation over the years is the reason that I hired you as my business coach over people who had many more certifications. And for me, that is kind of the thing I try to do as well. I'm like, yes, I do have a ton of certifications, but I'm also a 50-year-old woman with no Botox, no fillers, no makeup except a little lipstick for these YouTube videos, and just showing that it can be done. It's kind of about my experience is that I've optimized my body and continue to, and I think that everyone watching is going to have a lot of takeaways from this opportunity to live in their purpose, which is just as important as your nutrition and your fitness, and to find people in your community, in your life, like Courtney, who can help you guide yourself along that journey. So subscribe and comment, and we'll see you back here soon. Thank you, Courtney.
Bye.